Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Ayodhya witnesses a historic celebration as Prime Minister Modi hoists sacred flag atop the Ram temple, marking completion of its construction. PM Modi inaugurates Panchajanya, a structure dedicated to the sacred conch of Lord Krishna. Also takes part in the 350th Shahidi Divas of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur. Holy Buddha relics arrive back in India after concluding ceremony in Bhutan. Deep gratitude expressed to PM Modi as Kiren Rijiju leads the delegation. And India stare at another home series defeat, lose 2 wickets in chase of mammoth 549 runs against South Africa in second and final test of the series in Guwahati. An atmosphere of celebration and enthusiasm adorned Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Ram, as Prime Minister Modi hoisted the saffron-coloured flag on the temple's pinnacle, symbolizing the completion of the temple's construction and ushering in a new chapter of cultural celebration and national unity. RSS Chief Dr. Mohan Bhagwat and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath were also present on the occasion. PM Modi termed the occasion as historic, highlighting the significance of Dharma Dhwaj.
ये धर्म ध्वजा केवल एक ध्वजा नहीं, ये भारतीय सभ्यता के पुनर्जागरण का ध्वज है। इसका भगवा रंग, इस पर रचित सूर्यवंश की ख्याति, वर्णित ओम शब्द और अंकित कोविदार वृक्ष राम राज्य की कीर्ति को प्रतिरूपित करता है। ये ध्वज संकल्प है, ये ध्वज सफलता है, ये ध्वज संघर्ष से सृजन की गाथा है, ये ध्वज सदियों से चले आ रहे स्वप्नों का साकार स्वरूप है। ये ध्वज संतों की साधना और समाज की सहभागिता की सार्थक परिणति है। साथियों, आने वाली सदियों और सहस्त्र शताब्दियों तक ये धर्म ध्वज प्रभु राम के आदर्शों और सिद्धांतों का उद्घोष करेगा।
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi visited Sapta Mandir, or 7 temples located within the expansive Ram Janmabhoomi temple complex in Ayodhya. These 7 temples honor Maharshi Vashisht, Maharshi Vishwamitra, Maharshi Agastya, Maharshi Valmiki, Devi Ahilya, Nishad Rajgu and Mata Shabri. The temples represent the revered gurus, devotees and companions who played pivotal roles in Lord Ram's life, and their presence in the complex highlights their enduring significance. PM Modi said the divine courtyard of Ram Mandir are emerging as a sacred symbol of India's collective strength, the legacy of which continues to inspire millions.
राम मंदिर का दिव्य प्रांगण भारत के सामूहिक सामर्थ्य की भी चेतना स्थली बन रहा है। यहां 7 मंदिर बने हैं। यहां माता शबरी का मंदिर बना है, जो जनजातीय समाज के प्रेम भाव और आतिथ्य परंपरा की प्रतिमूर्ति है। यहां निषादराज का मंदिर बना है, ये उस मित्रता का साक्षी है जो साधन नहीं, साध्य को, उसकी भावना को पूजती है। यहां एक ही स्थान पर माता अहिल्या है, महर्षि वाल्मीकि है, महर्षि वशिष्ठ है, महर्षि विश्वामित्र है, महर्षि अगस्त्य है और संत तुलसीदास है। रामलला के साथ साथ इन सभी ऋषियों के दर्शन भी यहीं पर होते हैं। ये मंदिर हमारी आस्था के साथ साथ मित्रता, कर्तव्य और सामाजिक सद्भाव के मूल्यों को भी शक्ति देते हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also visited Sheshavtar Mandir, where he offered prayers to Lord Lakshman, younger sibling of Lord Ram. The shrine is located inside the temple complex. The Sheshavtar Mandir, situated along the banks of Saryu River, traces its origin back to the Treta Yuga era. Lord Lakshman is believed to be incarnation of Sheshnag. Earlier, upon arrival and after leaving from the Ram temple, PM Modi held a vibrant road show in Ayodhya. Thousands gathered in a festive, spiritual atmosphere filled with chants, devotional music and shankh sounds. As the sacred saffron flag was hoisted atop the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple, the entire complex was awash with the hues of saffron and gold marigolds, rangolis and even illumination after sundown. DD India's Gautam Roy spoke to the temple's main decorator Sanjay Davilkar about the concept, theme and other intricacies of the project. Take a look.
We have Sanjay Davilkar with us, a person who was involved and who supervised all the decoration. Thank you for joining us. Could you tell us what sort of an effort went into this entire exercise and how was it conceived?
Last time also we had overseen the complete decoration. This time the challenge was the mandir is complete and we wanted to showcase, we want to highlight the entire carving, the completion of mandir and everything. So the challenge was how to highlight that, and accordingly the theme which we have taken, we will use less flowers, but there is a flower decoration you will see everywhere. However, the lights are used more and more. The pathway from where Pujaniya Sarasanga Jalak ji and Mananiya Pradhan Mantri ji who came to their greenhouse, that entire pathway was based on certain theme. We have developed some pictures and we have put on that path. The time when the mandir was in a small asthai type small mandir to today's temple. So this entire journey was shown in that.
And now that the flag hoisting is done, it's a memorable historical landmark event. How do you feel at its culmination?
So for last 500 years, it's a Hindu Asmita's fight, it's Hindu Swabhiman's fight, and today is the day when the Punar Stapana of that Hindu Asmita, Hindu Punar Stapana has happened. So everyone here is feeling just proud and we are just blessed.
One of the biggest takeaways of the successful culmination of the flag hoisting ceremony on top of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple in Ayodhya is clearly that if a set of people, be it a civilization, struggle for centuries, they can still, if they choose the right path and if they really aspire for it and work hard for it, any goal can be achieved. And that's what is the essence of what Lord Ram did many, many years ago, ages ago, and this is what India and people of the faith in Lord Ram have achieved today. With Campus Sunil, Gautam Roy, Ayodhya, DD India.
And Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the newly constructed Panchajanya, a structure dedicated to sacred conch associated with Lord Krishna. He inaugurated the newly constructed Panchajanya, constructed in honor of the sacred conch of Lord Krishna. Thereafter, he visited the Mahabharat Anubhav Kendra, an immersive experiential centre where installations depict significant episodes from Mahabharat, highlighting its enduring cultural and spiritual significance. Later, Prime Minister participated in a special program commemorating the 350th Shahidi Divas of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the revered 9th Sikh Guru. Later, the Prime Minister will perform darshan and puja at Brahma Sarovar, one of India's most sacred pilgrimage sites said to be associated with the divine revelation of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Shifting focus now, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh delivered a keynote address at Samudra Utkarsh, a seminar organised by the Department of Defence Production, showcasing the capabilities of Indian shipyards in New Delhi. He has urged international partners to tap the potential of India's vibrant shipbuilding industry and co-develop next-generation maritime capabilities. He said that India aims to become preferred ship repair hub for Indo-Pacific region.
From friendly foreign nations are increasingly coming to Indian shipyards for the complex refits. And this is a clear recognition of India's capability, reliability, and the cost competitiveness. Our ambition is clear. We want to become the preferred sustainment and repair hub for the entire Indo-Pacific region. India's shipbuilding ecosystem today stands on the strength of the multiple world-class platforms that reflect our technological maturity and industrial depth. In the defense sector, our shipyards are delivering some of the most advanced vessels in the Indo-Pacific.
Moving on, Indian Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi inaugurated the 4th edition of the Indian Navy's Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization Seminar Swavlamban 2025 at Manekshaw Centre in New Delhi. The two-day event from 25th to 26th November will highlight Indian Navy's innovation and indigenization efforts and the contributions of the Indian industry. Seminar also includes dedicated exhibit zones highlighting products that have emerged as success stories as well as those realized through the ideation to induction cycle.
ये अभी चौथा एडिशन है एंड पिछले सालों में और स्पेशली पिछले 4 सालों में हमने इंडियन इंडस्ट्री जो स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, जो हमारा लोकल टैलेंट है हमारे पास इतना बढ़िया, उनको हमने जो हमारे एरिया से जहां हमको फोकस चाहिए था, नीश टेक्नोलॉजीज चाहिए थे, वो हमने इनको दिए हैं एंड जो प्रोडक्ट्स उन्होंने बनाए हैं उस चैलेंज पे वो आज डिस्प्ले पे है यहाँ. इनमें से काफी प्रोडक्ट्स हैव बीन टेस्टेड इन द फील्ड and some of them have been inducted into the Indian Navy also. These products have application not only in the Navy but in the other services and also possible civilian application.
An inspector of the Moroccan Royal Navy Rear Admiral Mohammed Tahin laid wreath at National War Memorial in New Delhi. On his visit to National War Memorial, Rear Admiral Tahin acknowledged the supreme sacrifice of Indian brave hearts by paying homage at eternal flame in a solemn wreath-laying ceremony. Inspector of Moroccan Royal Navy Rear Admiral Mohammed Tahin called on Indian Vice Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Pushpendra Singh on Tuesday. The discussions focused on strengthening bilateral defence cooperation, fostering deeper military engagement and reinforcing the shared commitment of both armies towards global peace and security. And in Thimphu, a solemn concluding ceremony marked the return of Lord Buddha's holy relics to India after an extended and immensely successful exposition in Bhutan. The rituals were held at the main monastery where the sacred relics had been displayed since their arrival on November 8. Union Minister for Minority Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs Kiran Rijiju, who led the Indian delegation, joined the King of Bhutan and senior Bhutanese leaders for the ceremonial proceedings. During the ceremony, the Home Minister of Bhutan expressed heartfelt gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Government of India for bringing the sacred relics to Bhutan and for extending their exposition by an additional week, a gesture welcomed by thousands of devotees. All right, still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Taiwan is fully sovereign and independent, asserts its Premier Cho Jang-tae as China's pact with Japan continues. US-Venezuela tensions escalate. Maduro claims they can't be defeated. White House vows to continue strikes on suspected drug boats. Welcome back. You're watching Indeed India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi and US President Donald Trump discussed China relations in a phone call on Tuesday. The first talk since the Japanese Premier sparked a major diplomatic bust-up with Beijing over her remarks on Taiwan. Following the call, Takaichi told reporters that President Trump gave a brief explanation of the recent state of US-China relations, declining to go into further details. Takaichi added that Trump told her they are very close friends and she could call any time. Meanwhile, Taiwan Premier Cho Jang-tae has asserted that a return to China is not an option for island's 23 million people. The reaction came as President Xi Jinping pressed his country's sovereignty claims in a call with US counterpart Trump on Monday. She said Taiwan's return to China at the end of World War II was a key part of Beijing's vision for the world order. Taiwan's democratically elected government strongly reject China's stance. On his part, Trump touted relations with China as extremely strong after a phone call with Xi Jinping, terming it a very good phone call. Trump said two leaders discussed the conflict in Ukraine, fentanyl trafficking, and a deal for farmers. Trump also said he had accepted Xi's invitation to visit China in April and that Xi would visit the US later in the year. Trump made no mention of Taiwan in his post. The call came weeks after the two leaders met in South Korea, where they agreed to a framework for a trade deal that has yet to be finalized. Now, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Monday declared his country invincible as the US stepped up pressure by designating the Cartel de los Soles a foreign terrorist organization and deploying military assets in the Caribbean. Speaking on his TV program, Maduro told supporters the US would not defeat Venezuela, responding to the latest American actions targeting alleged drug trafficking networks.
Whatever they do, however they do it, wherever they do it, they will not be able to defeat Venezuela. We are invincible. Whatever they do, they have not been able to defeat our homeland, and they never will.
La paz será mi puerto.
US President Donald Trump plans to speak directly with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, though it is still in the planning stage. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has said that President Trump is satisfied with the strikes on suspected drug boats and Washington will continue the operations.
I'm not going to broadcast any actions that may or may not be happening with respect to Venezuela. I know I've been very clear about the administration's position, as has the president and his national security team. We view the Maduro regime as being illegitimate, and the president has been very satisfied with the successful strikes against narco-terrorists and foreign terrorists that are illegally trafficking drugs towards the United States of America. He's not going to tolerate that, and you can expect to see those strikes continue.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's Aviation Institute has told international airlines to resume flights within 48 hours or risk losing their authorization. The warning from the International Air Transport Association came after several carriers cancelled services following a US Federal Aviation Administration warning of a potentially hazardous situation when flying over Venezuela. Moving on, Afghanistan's Taliban government vowed Tuesday to respond appropriately to overnight border strikes it blamed on Pakistan that killed 10 people as tensions soared following a suicide bombing in Peshawar a day earlier. The government spokesman said defending airspace, territory and people is their legitimate right and a necessary response will be given at an appropriate time. The raids were carried out by drones and aircraft in 3 eastern provinces that border Pakistan. The bombardment overnight reported by Kabul followed a series of attacks in Pakistan that Islamabad blames on militants based in Afghanistan. Now, Indian Airlines, Air India and Akasa Air cancelled some flights on Tuesday, citing disruptions in operations due to ash plumes due after volcanic eruption. Following a directive released by India's aviation regulator, Air India cancelled 11 flights on Monday and Tuesday to check up on aircraft that operated in the vicinity of volcanic eruption area. Meanwhile, Akasa Air suspended flights scheduled in Middle East region. The ash plumes from the volcano drifted over Yemen, Oman, India and northern Pakistan. The India Met Department has said that Indian skies will be clear by Tuesday itself. Ethiopia's Haile Gubi volcano had erupted on Sunday for the first time in recorded history, sending thick plumes of smoke up to 14 kilometers into the sky. Meanwhile, Ministry of Civil Aviation on its social media platform has stated that it is working in close with all flight operations and ensure there is no cause of concern. Only some changes have been done in precaution. It further said that the ministry is continuously monitoring the situation and will provide timely updates. Shifting focus now. For years, fashion companies have been talking about sustainability. From H&M to Adidas, big brands often tag themselves as green. But are they? DW correspondent Warda Imran joins us for more about a DW joint investigation that looks into European fashion brands and whether they are as sustainable as they say. Good to have you, Warda. Tell us about DW's findings.
Thank you for having me. DW's investigation into big European fashion companies did not yield very surprising results. Many of these findings were expected. So across all 468 commitments from 17 companies, about half of these have been honored. These include targets on emission reductions, having more sustainable material, being more efficient with waste management and energy usage. 1 in every 3 promises that these companies made failed. Zalando, a European fashion company, fails the most of its commitments. DW spoke to Zalando on the matter and they admitted that they had fallen short on their promises. Other companies such as Spanish brand Mango, Ireland's Primark, and Italy's OVS have a lot of vague language around their targets and keep dropping and picking them up with little consistency. What's interesting is also which company was advertising or talking the most about sustainability. And it was H&M with 49 targets set, but only half were implemented. And the second company with the most pledges was Adidas, which honored a little over half of its 28 commitments.
Were there any brands that set a positive example?
Well, staying with the 2 companies I just mentioned, H&M and Adidas, big global names, despite their average performance on claims, these 2 companies were the first major European brands to successfully commit to and source their cotton from sustainable sources. But I have to be clear, this should be a minimum requirement. That's what advocates say. So at least in this regard, these 2 companies have struck the right tone. But in the fashion industry as a whole, it's really hard to find good examples, especially in big companies that have factories all over the world, which may operate in questionable conditions with very little pay, situated in maybe Bangladesh, Vietnam, or Pakistan. But what is surprising is that luxury brands, which do not have the same price constraints as mass producers and should ideally be sustainable by default, are very silent on the matter. Advocates say that this may be because luxury brands share the same suppliers as mass producers, and they're just not ready to admit to that yet.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your input, Warda. Sports now. India are staring at another home series loss after being given a mammoth target of 549 runs by South Africa to win the second and final test match and draw the series. At the close of 4th day's plays, India were at 27 runs for the loss of 2 wickets with Sai Sudarshan at the crease along with night watchman Kuldeep Yadav. The hosts need another 522 runs with a day left to pull off a miracle. Earlier, South Africa declared the innings at 260 runs for 5 wickets after taking a lead of 548 runs. With the match heavily tilted in South Africa's favour, India now face a monumental job, that is to bat out nearly 3 sessions to salvage a draw or somehow script one of the greatest chases in Test history. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.